And now, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, the man you've been waiting for, the drum beater, the system cheater, the broadcaster and drummer for black liberation, the king of spades, Jim Ingram.
Thank you, Al. Brothers and sisters. Wow. They bill this as a fireside chat, but it looks more like a bonfire rap to me. I guess I should tell you a little something about myself for those of you who don't know me. I'm from Detroit, the black power capital of America. Some of y'all don't dig the term black power? Well, let me put it this way. I'm from the city from which tan energy emanates. Black power. Of course, a lot of us, even in Detroit, got so hung up on black that power shot clean on past us. I'm also from a small town in the South where I partially grew up, Hamlet, North Carolina. But let's not get into a chauvinistic thing on cities. We're just as oppressed if we're director of the common market on Wall Street as perfecters of common sense in a ghetto in Chicago. My name ain't Frank, but my manner of speaking is. I grew up partially in North Carolina, partially in Detroit, and all the way in poverty. The rooms in our house were so small we had hunchback roaches. I didn't finish high school, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't. Had I finished when I should have, I wouldn't be standing here tonight. I'd be sitting upstairs in my office counting your money. I also was forced to grow up to realize that the Statue of Liberty is actually the statue of lynchery, a beacon of bigotry to those who stare at her two-faced hypocrisy from the rear. You know, I finally figured out why she's facing out to sea. That's so her rump is turned toward you and me. Figure it out. If I turned my backside to you right now, what would I be telling you? Kiss what? I didn't say that. I also learned about white folks. I see some of you are here tonight. You're either friends or spies. I ain't got nothing against white folks, except my pistol. Seriously, I'm opposed to violence. Violently opposed to it. And I believe in integration too, I suppose. We got to be near y'all to watch you. You don't think that's funny? Good, we're even. Because I don't particularly crack up at black oppression. I don't hate white people. I watch them like they watch me. After all, they ain't nothing but people. Though a lot of them don't want to act like it. Some of my best friends are white folks. And I hope they're both here tonight so I can prove it. No, I'm not anti-white. I'm anti-racist, anti-oppression, and pro-humanity. There are more oppressed white folks in this country than anybody else, after all. Most of them are so busy hating you and me, they just don't know it. Sometimes, you know, the difference between propaganda and news is whether you read it or saw it yourself. Take Nixon's silent majority. One reason they're so silent is they don't know what to say. You read about how many times Nixon's tapes were erased according to testimony a little while back. At least 5 times and possibly 9. Reminds me of the legend about Pontius Pilate. Remember him? Used to wash his hands over and over, hoping to cleanse himself of all that blood on his hands. Erasing a tape over and over, the waters of Watergate seem not to be enough to wash away the truth. Now they say this government is crumbling. It ain't. A strong government is always a minority government ruling a majority by giving the majority the impression they're ruling when they're actually being ruled. South Africa and Rhodesia do not have strong governments over there because the black African majorities know they're being ruled. And those governments are going to come tumbling down. And when these fools in the silent majority find out what's really going down, they'll become the violent majority instead of the silent majority. Some of them already are. Remember when the senior citizens marched on Washington a few years back?
Yeah.
I was there. Man, those old folks acted like panthers.
You black racist?
I think I heard someone out there call me a black racist. Is that what you said?
No.
Well, you know what your mama was, don't you? Black racist. That's a contradiction in terms, like saying America practices creative destruction. Now, how can you, brother or sister, be a racist? I heard some sisters say, I hope you don't think I'm a black racist. I asked her, now what makes you think you're in a situation equal enough to be a racist? I mean, accepting that term really means you have psychologically accepted a false illusion, the illusion that black folks are free to enforce racism on the racist institutions of this country. You might be prejudiced, but racist? You ain't got the power to be racist. You cannot subjugate another group of people. You're too subjugated yourself. Look at reality. Have you ever lynched anyone? Ever adversely affected the quality of life for white folks or anybody else? You might hurt one individual's feelings, but racist? No way. They live in luxury, we live in ghettos. They drive Volkswagens, some of them have enough money to fill up the trunks with cash. Some of us drive Cadillacs and ain't got enough money to fill up the tank with gas. And that goes back to before the energy crisis. Let me give you a better example. If a baby is born of a white mother and a black father, the white world rejects it, doesn't it? They say that baby is black. It really ain't no big thing with us. We accept it and say, right on, the baby is black, and maybe one day he'll grow up and get in your racist behind. Y'all think about that. You see, I'm a diplomat. A diplomat is a cat who makes someone who does him a favor apologize because they didn't do him a bigger favor. And that's what a black writer friend of mine back in Detroit calls soul with hot sauce. I call it African truth juice, the sperm of the sun. I wish I had more time, and I wish you did too, but I got to split. Give of yourselves to your brothers and sisters. An old Chinese proverb says a bit of fragrance always clings to the hand that gives you roses. Give each other flowers of truth, love, and unity. And as for material things, remember this. To give what you have much of is good and easy. To give what you have not much of is good and hard. Peace be still. Be strong. Get stronger. Good night.